and welcome to another one of these GCSE Edexcel English Language Paper 1 videos. So what we're looking at this time is question 3. So it just got real. This is where most people start to think, oh no, it's tricky, it's complicated, don't know which examples to choose. So what we're going to do is have a look at the section of text, recap on the question, then try and come up with some ideas together, look at some other student examples and take it from there. Alright then, so the question for number 3 will always be something along these lines. So this time we've got in lines 14 to 25, how does the writer use language and structure to show the narrator's feelings about Bertha? Support your views with reference to the text. Just to recap, don't go outside the area that you're supposed to, else we can't give you any marks, and make sure that you cover both language and structure. If you don't do that, even if you wrote the most amazing thing, but it was all to do with language, you wouldn't get full marks. You need to cover both of those things. And you need to think about the question focus, which this time is the narrator's feelings about Bertha. Support your views with reference, so we want quotes, okay? So let me read the section out for you. And as I'm reading, I want you to try to identify any language or structural techniques that you're aware of. You've got the text in the description box below, so you can have a look at that as well. If you don't feel you need to listen to the text again, that's fine, just use that description box and fast forward me. Right, and he slept, his head sunk on his breast, and I scarce heard his regular breathing. For a few minutes I watched the vessel. The rosy colour of the liquid remained unchanged. Then my thoughts wandered. They visited the fountain and dwelt on 1,000 charming scenes, never to be renewed, never. Serpents and adders were in my heart, as the word never half formed itself on my lips. False girl, false and cruel! Never more would she smile on me that evening as she smiled on Albert. Worthless, detested woman, I would not remain unrevenged. She should see Albert expire at her feet. She should die beneath my vengeance. She had smiled in disdain and triumph. She knew my wretchedness and her power. Yet what power had she? The power of exciting my hate, my utter scorn, but indifference. Could I attain that? Could I regard her with careless eyes, transferring my rejected love to one fairer and more true? That were indeed a victory. Okay, so that's the second paragraph there. So let's have a look at some ideas some other students have come up with and see if you can kind of understand what they were going for and see if you can mark their work. And compare it to any ideas that you had while you've had your little moment to think about it. So, we'll read you an example here, first of all. We've got a little bit of crossing out on here. Looks a little bit unsure about the starting point, so we'll see how they go. In lines 14 to 25, the writer uses language and structure to show that the narrator hates Bertha, worthless, detested woman. So mixed starting off there. They've done the kind of like, I'm going to structure it like a mini essay and said what the lines were, said the language and structure. Don't really need to do all that, just go straight in with your first point on this one, it's perfectly fine. So the point they're making here is that the writer uses strong language to show that the narrator hates Bertha, worthless, detested woman. So if they'd put in that strong language, they'd have been much closer to getting a mark than they are with just describing it as language, obviously. We've also got that WW, that alliteration, worthless woman, that you could comment on there as well. Okay, so then they go on. The writer also uses language and structure to show the narrator's feelings. The narrator doesn't love Bertha, as said in the text, transferring my rejected love to one fairer. Now they've misunderstood here what's going on. And again, there's loads of filler, this beginning bit. The writer also uses language and structure to show the narrator's feeling. We don't really need it. Go straight to the point that you're trying to make. But here they haven't really got a point for us to look at. But we will just check that you understand. It's not that he doesn't love her. He's wishing that he could just not be bothered about her anymore, because he still has strong feelings for her. Okay, what do they go on to next? The narrator had been loved by Bertha, but he hated her and rejected her love, and she found some better. Okay, so they're struggling here. To show his hate for her, the narrator says, never more would she smile on me as that evening she smiled on Albert, worthless, detested woman. So that's just the same point that they made in their first paragraph. They've not added anything to it there by extending the quotation, because the part that they've added on, never more would she smile at me as that evening she smiled at Albert, doesn't really add anything to what they're trying to say. So hopefully that's constructive criticism. This student's done. They've moved on. They've hopefully got what they needed to do to go on to whatever's next, and hopefully that will be the same for you. Just going to pause now to give you a little bit of a break before we go on to have a look at the second student example. Alright then, thanks for watching. Bye for now.